Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while since you've seen me here, and this probably isn't the video that you expected me to come back with. I'm sure at this time of year you're all expecting albums I'm most anticipating videos, or best albums of the year videos, you know, Q&As, retrospectives, stuff like that. That, you know, I don't blame you. You know, I never really announced that I was going away again because I didn't intend to. So this isn't really a comeback video of sorts. It's really just me just keeping you in the loop, letting you know how I've been, where I've been, and ultimately how I plan to be and what I want to do. And it's not going to be an easy video for me to make because, as any of you who have been subscribed to the channel for any meaningful length of time know, on here it's basically just reviews, discussion, Q&As, I guess, every now and again. And don't worry, that's by no means going away. Music is still the most important thing in my life. I imagine it always will be, and I'm always going to want to talk about it. I'm still fascinated by it. I love it more than ever. And I'm sure many of you have just subscribed to the channel because you want to hear me talk about underground metal, and that's not going anywhere. But I've realised that if I'm going to do this with any longevity, then I need to be honest with you and open and sharing my experiences and just putting myself out there, which isn't easy, you know. It's a real struggle sometimes for me, but with everything that's been going on, which I'll get into, I've realised that sharing it with people, explaining my problems, every now and then just completely opening up, it has helped, and it's helped me get stuff straight in my mind and move on from things and not look back with anger, but look forward with curiosity and optimism. And if you're displaying any of the same traits that I've described in this video, and I'm sure it's far more common than you think, please just talk to someone. It doesn't have to be a therapist or anything. You don't have to go down that route unless you need it. And if you do think you need it, then do it. Don't think about other people. But ultimately, reach out to friends, reach out to family, and if you think they won't care, trust me, they do. I was in the same position where I thought if I told anyone about anything, I'd push them further away. And then that's what pushed people further away, was me ignoring them and trying to shut them out and that sort of thing. And you shouldn't do that if you can help it, is the way I see it, because ultimately there are people in life who care about you, and it's best to keep them on side. And honestly, if they're worth keeping around, they won't be pushed away by what you tell them. And I know it's all cliches, but hopefully maybe hearing it from me as someone who never talks about this stuff will help. Hopefully means it rings true and gets out to someone. But so ultimately, I don't want this video to be too depressing. I'm going to try and keep it as light as possible, and I'm not going to try and wallow or get too down on certain subjects. Just get it out there, address the elephant in the room, and then hopefully we'll see some like positivity and all that in the comments, people sharing back and forth and all that stuff, and hopefully something good will come of it. And I don't normally want, I don't know how to talk. I'm not normally one for the bigger confessional YouTube videos or whatever, but I think, again, if I'm going to be able to do the other stuff and do what I want to do, then I also need to open up this dialogue. So first I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and that's really been my mental health. Now, I feel very lucky that I've gotten to this stage in my life and never really had to suffer with that many mental health troubles. I was never dismissive of it or anything, and I always had a lot of empathy for people who were going through it, but it was never something that I could truly sympathise with because I hadn't really experienced anything like that. And maybe that's why it was such, you know, a blow when it did hit me. So ultimately, the problems I've been experiencing have been to do with like extreme ongoing stress, anxiety, just low self-esteem, confidence problems. It was just a number of things, and I'm going to try and not get too graphic with you now because I honestly feel a bit awkward sharing this stuff, but I need to share whatever I can. And for 2 months, between September and November, I had a job at a coffee shop we won't name, and it really just wasn't for me. I know plenty of people who work there who like it, but I hated it. And it wasn't necessarily the people, it was just the work. And the stress, which wasn't just because of that, there were a number of factors which led to me feeling this way. It ultimately led to me not being able to keep down the job, which is something that I never thought would be a problem for me, because I'm usually really hardworking. I'm always pursuing meaningful and productive things, and I like having something to show for myself and working hard. But it was getting to the point where I had to like cancel shifts because I was getting stress-induced migraines. I wasn't sleeping right. I was sick at work and stuff. It was just constantly like I was, every time where I would go and I was stressed, I'd just be on the verge the whole time of something really unpleasant happening. And ultimately, that I didn't really express this to the bosses or anything, so it really isn't, for someone where it's like me, where I'm just like, it's virtually a minimum wage job, just working in a coffee shop clearing tables. I'm not sharing that with them. And ultimately it led to me being fired, which I didn't really have a huge problem with because I hated working there anyway, but the main knock was just me going, wow, I can't even do something fairly basic for money because of how much these problems are affecting me. And the problems that were affecting me were visible to virtually everyone in my life. And for some people, they thought, this is his character, this is who he is, and they distanced themselves. And I don't blame them at all. Like, I'm going to hold my hands up. I totally understand, because I wasn't very pleasant to be around. I wasn't fun. I wasn't cracking jokes or anything. I was just feeling fairly lost and alone, I guess. And the people who have stuck by me, as far as I can tell, they're true friends. And people who I didn't think would be there for me have proven to be there for me. And some days are worse than others. Like, there's times where I think, oh, I must be on the up, I think I'm getting there. And then times where it's worse than ever. And these things, I'm sure with anyone who's been dealing with these problems of like anxiety or feeling depressed or stress and self-confidence problems, it's a constant thing where it's up and down. Like, there's no predicting it. Like, sometimes you're down for weeks, and then sometimes you're up for a weekend, and it's great. And it's the same case for me. And I'm getting different advice from different people, and ultimately I've just realised that I need to try and strive for what makes me happy and start putting out rules for myself and all that stuff. And I haven't really shared very much with you now. I might make another video if you guys want to see that, where I really go in depth with everything. But ultimately, like, the stress and the anxiety stuff, I thought, like, well, maybe this is like me forever now. And that's a common thing from what I understand, that people, when they've had it for a few months, they are like, well, I guess I'm just doomed to be like this. And that's why, tragically, so many people end up cutting their lives short, because they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so every little thing is another reason for them to give up. And it never got that bad. I just want to make sure that's clear. It never got so bad where I was like, I don't think I can carry on. It never really came close. And it really put into perspective how much some other people suffer, and it really put a great deal on my mind. I thought, like, wow, I'm handling this terribly. What would it be like if I had something truly, genuinely, life-alteringly serious? So yeah, it wasn't the right time for me to be doing YouTube or anything. I was trying to make music, but obviously the stress makes that worse. No, the stress didn't make that worse. It was something that would distract me, but then if it didn't work out, I'd be more stressed, to have less confidence. And if I wasn't producing something I was proud of, I was like, why do I even bother? It's my favourite thing in the world, and I want to do it more than anything, and I can't do it to a standard that I'm proud of. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist with that sort of thing, so that didn't help either. But ultimately, I know I've got good people in my corner, and to everyone who I pushed away or whatever, I apologise to them. And to the people who gave up or didn't want to have to deal with me, I understand, and good luck to you in the future, I guess. But I realised that I need to have something which I am proud of, and that's what I've been trying to do just generally in my life. So now that we've discussed like mental health and stuff and got that out of the way, all that unpleasant stuff, and hopefully, again, if you guys want to open up a dialogue in the comment section, I encourage that more than anything, because really talking about this stuff, getting it out there, it is just better for everyone, as far as I can see. And people can encourage each other or what have you. People can give advice. You can have tough love or anything, whatever helps people. Just go right ahead. it seems like I'm begging you to do it. I'm honestly not. I'm just saying that, like, don't. I hope that isn't a part of the video where people kind of brush over it, and it is something that people listen to, and not for my sake, but just for everyone. But now that we've got that out of the way, finally, after, I don't know how long that is, far too long rambling, let's talk about the stuff that I've been doing to fill my time. So as I told you, I had a job for a while that went down the tube, so we won't discuss that any further. In terms of hobbies and stuff, I really got back into music, not just listening to it more, but making it, just writing and all that stuff. I've been collaborating with great people. The only thing that I've shared on here so far was a couple months ago I shared a track from me and a friend of mine. We decided we were going to work on an avant-garde sort of noise, I don't know what else it is, ambient project together called Gentle Belly Rub. We released the first song, Stefani Begotten, on here. And yeah, it was a hell of a lot of fun to make. It's just, we decided we wanted to make the most frightening music we could. And we're still working on it. We've got about 35 minutes of music, I believe, and we're hoping to get towards 45 or 50. He's at uni, so obviously he's got other priorities. I've got other stuff going on as well, but we're hoping to have that done sooner rather than later. And then once that's out, that'll be my first release, or perhaps sole release, I don't know yet, of this year. I've been writing with other people. I've been working on my own stuff, trying to like change up what I've been thinking. I've thought about doing power violence music. I've been doing a lot of singer-songwriter stuff. And I know, you're cowering in fear at the idea of this voice singing because, good God, it isn't pretty. But it's been a good practice of me just getting songs together and going, I've written a song that I really like. Sort of in the same realm as the Mountain Goat, stuff like that, because I really love that style of music and that lyrical narrative, and just, I'm a big sucker for lyrics, and that's a good platform for me to put that stuff out there. I've been doing a lot of writing outside of music. I've got like a document on my laptop where if I just have any thoughts, not even like technically particularly articulate ones, just like interesting little 2-sentence things, I just bung them in there. I might share those with the rest of the world someday, I'm not sure. I've also started writing as a freelance writer. So far I've been working for The Sludge Lord, which is a blog and a record label. I've had 2 reviews published there so far, but hopefully many more in the future. I'm really loving working over there. And also at Distorted Sound, which has only started recently. I don't think anything's been published yet. In fact, I'm fairly sure nothing's been published yet. But I've sent some stuff over there. That's going to be out soon. That's a digital online magazine. And yeah, again, everyone who I've spoken to who works those places has been absolutely tremendous. Just like really kind, helpful, positive people. And that always helps me. Really, writing about music is something that I've never really done before because I've always just spoken into the camera, but I realised that I love writing, I love talking about music, and I'm really, really enjoying the practice of it, and it's something I hope to keep doing in the future for the foreseeable. And it's just, yeah, it's bringing me a lot of joy and a lot of satisfaction seeing a review that I wrote published online by a third party, and just, yeah, there'll be links below to both the Sludge Lord reviews. One is of the new EROSION album, Maximum Suffering, which is absolutely outstanding, and the new ULTHA album, which I can't remember the name. It was something like The Inextricable Wandering. That is also there. So, check out my reviews of either of those. If any of you run blogs or anything and want writers, let me know. I'm hoping to like really just keep producing, keep working. I'm really finding it a fruitful endeavour. Also started writing in terms of short films and stuff, and I've been doing that for a while and I've never produced anything, but I realised writing a film might just be enough to give me that satisfaction. I'm always having ideas for things. I'm a huge fan of people like Harmony Korine or Ari Aster and people like that, like kind of creative, oddball characters. I'm not really writing in any one particular style, really just getting ideas that I like and finding a format to put them out there. If they never get made into anything, that's cool too, or it just means I'll have written something that I'm proud of. So yeah, I'm trying to get that all of that stuff done too. So in terms of what I want to do, I want to finish all those projects, get some music out there, finish the script of a short film, keep writing for magazines and stuff. I I also want to start thinking about, like, I'm also planning to get more exercise in that. I'm going for long walks in the woods again is the plan, which is something I did a couple of years ago, and again, it really helped me relax my brain, deal with stressful problems. Also, just another thing to focus on and get some happiness from, if possible, and see how that goes. And in terms of YouTube, and this has really been the toughest thing, because with everything else it sort of just falls into place. I think, like, well, if I'm going to make music, I have all the software I need to make it sound the way I like, so that's fine. I'm not that interested in it sounding too grandiose or massive. If I'm writing a short film, I just need a Word document with all the words I want characters to say on it. That's good too. And my freelance writing, I've really been blessed to have people who have supported me and gotten on board and encouraged me to keep doing that. So most of that stuff just falls into place with, you know, it's obvious what I need to do. But the YouTube thing has proven to be more difficult in terms of what I want to do, because I thought, like, well, I love talking about music. It's the thing that I'm most knowledgeable about, the thing I'm most qualified to talk about, I think. But the main problem is that if I just go back to doing the same thing where it's one take videos with the album art, I'm just gonna get bored again, or realise that, like, things have moved on. I mean, you see people like the Rock Critic or the Punk Rock MBA, like other people who talk about music, and there's much snappier edits, they have storylines and stuff. It's something that's totally beyond me. And then that's why when I see my stuff and I go, like, it doesn't really, like, you know, the fact that people like it really brings me a lot of joy. But for me personally, I look at it and I go, like, it doesn't quite cut the mustard in the way that it should. So I've realised if I'm going to talk about music like that, I'm not necessarily going to the whole hog where I'm going to have characters and personas and animations and stuff, but I want to make it more snappy, give it a bit more life to it. And then I also want to share the other stuff I do in my life. Like, I want to have interesting projects, share that with you guys, whether that's me traveling somewhere or working on music, or a short film that I do if I end up doing one, or anything like that, or just me, like, creating music, anything of that sort. Just interesting, a lot of variety in the content. And it's hard because you want to have it so it's focused in the sense that people know what they're subscribing to, but then you also think, like, if I make it with a bit more variety, bring more people in. Ultimately, I just realised I need to do what I want and upload videos that I'm proud of, and that's the only surefire way for me to be happy with what I do. So that's ultimately the future of this channel as far as I can see, because either I keep doing the album reviews and I end up just getting bored again and I go, you know, I've done this for so long, it's just autopilot now, or I decide I need to get out of my comfort zone, do more interesting things. Maybe not even, if I'm going to do a discussion video, not necessarily just talk about music. I mean, obviously that's the thing I know most about, so that's the thing I'll talk about the most. If I want to talk about films or philosophy or politics or economic stuff or art or comedy or anything like that, other things which take up my interests, then I should just do it and not think about, oh God, are people going to feel alienated? Because really, like, I want this channel to be a place where if I release something that people don't like, they know that something they might like will come up soon. That's really what I want from this, and it's all going to be stuff that I'm proud of a high standard, where I don't feel like I'm just wheeling it out. Stuff that when it gets out there, I'm like, I really am happy that people are going to see this. And I don't know what that means exactly right now. I feel like this is a good place to start because I've discussed a few of the things that I care about. And if it ends up just being me, not vlogging per se, but like if I'm going somewhere interesting, showing that, doing like edits and stuff, talking about stuff, if it's me talking about myself more, in a more personality based channel, if it's me talking about music more, I want this to be more of a fluid thing. And if that's alienating to you, then, you know, I apologize, but for my mental health and for all that stuff, it's really what's best for me. So I just want to, like, give some thank yous to everyone who supported me over the last few months. I know I've been a pain, to everyone who's helped me with the freelance writing, because, you know, I don't have any experience. You don't have to take me on or anything. You know, you're not obligated to take in people who aren't experienced, but you have done, and I'm hoping to keep producing and do all those people proud. What else? Thanks to you guys, ultimately, for those who have stuck with me and, you know, remained supportive and been kind, and whenever I've gone away and come back, just shown the same support again. It really does mean a lot to have good people in my corner. So yeah, ultimately that's everything everything I care to discuss in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. More videos coming soon. Not exactly sure what's going to come up next. Again, the music stuff is by no means going away. I'm going to do reviews of stuff. I'm going to do lists, and I'm also going to try and branch out and see what else I can do. Get out of my comfort zone and not just sit in the same place. And I hope you guys come along for the ride, because everything's more interesting when you guys are on board. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Links to as well as my Facebook page, all the blogs that I've written for, my Instagram if you want to follow me there. I haven't posted anything in a long time, but I'm hoping when I start getting more active and stuff, I'll be sharing stuff on there as well. Yeah, ultimately that's it. If you've gotten to this point in the video, thank you for listening. It's felt good to get some of this stuff off my chest and out there into the world. So yeah, thank you very much for watching for the final time. See you guys in another video.